Hello and welcome to Mike's recommendation of the week. Thinking maybe I should get a tune or something. I decided to start doing these a little different, talking to the camera instead of the voiceover with the clips. Mainly to save me time because I'm pretty busy, have a lot of jobs and all that stuff. So, this is how they're going to be from now on. Deal with it. This week I'm going to recommend Embrace of the Serpent. It's a Colombian movie that was nominated for Best Foreign Film in the Oscars this past year. Embrace of the Serpent is about two explorers that come to the Colombian Amazon in order to study the tribes, and they both run into the same man, Karamakate, and the entire story is about the clash of two worlds and how essentially hundreds of cultures were just destroyed in the rubber wars of the early 1900s. And it's a very, very interesting film. It's completely different than anything I've ever seen. Probably the most different thing about it is the fact that, the indigenous people of the Amazon aren't just a set piece in this. You see all these movies, like the Werner Herzog movies of the 60s and 70s, like Fitzcarraldo and Aguirre, and they are essentially just set pieces, decorations, plot devices that don't really do much except for fill in the background. They don't have any real compelling motivation for anything they do. But in this, the main character is actually Karamakate, who is a kind of a loner tribesman. He lives by himself because he blames himself for the demise of his people. So he lives in the woods by himself in order to, kind of cope with that. And I thought that was just very interesting. Straight from the get-go, they just give him so much character in the first 5 minutes that it just tells you exactly what you're going to go throughout this film. But in the same sense, where it's about how Europeans came to the Amazon in order to kind of destroy the forest and harvest rubber, it doesn't really vilify those people, even though they have every right to vilify them. It's more of a showing of the history of what happened and all of these tribes that have just disappeared off the face of the planet with very little, knowledge of their cultures. The entire thing is the clash of two worlds and how in order to understand each other and create peace is to just learn about each other's cultures, which unfortunately with these tribes that are just extinct, we cannot do any longer. The actor who plays young Karamakate, he was incredible. It's probably one of the best performances I've seen, and I don't even know if he has acting training. I watched an interview with him, and his IMDb page says that this is the only film he did. Granted, he could have plays or whatever, but I was watching an interview with him, and he was talking about how he would just stay in character the entire time. He's kind of like a Colombian Daniel Day-Lewis in that sense. He talked about going home and having to, decompress, realizing that he's home now and doesn't have to be Karamakate. He can be himself. It definitely shows in this film. He sells his character very well, and it's just an incredible piece of acting. This is a very strange film. It's very dreamy in a way. It feels real, but at the same time has elements that just feel like nightmares or dreams. And that's has a lot to do with the black and white cinematography. It's absolutely beautiful. The contrast between the darks and the lights is just beautiful. And but it's a very strange film to kind of take in. But that's kind of what makes this film so great, is that it's not normal. It's a very unique and interesting story that is both a historical event. It's based on these two explorers' diaries, but it also has moments of art. I can't really explain it. It's very reminiscent of Apocalypse Now, where it's kind of like this dark story of the worst part of humanity. but it also there's moments in it that kind of are like 2001: Space Odyssey, like this right here. It's a really hard film to describe. It's very, very good. I highly suggest you go see it. There's not much else I can say about it. I gave this a 10 out of 10, and I hope you watch it and enjoy it as well, because it was definitely one of the best movies I've seen in a while. Hey, thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe and all that. Over there is going to be... Oh, I didn't do one last week. Huh. So that's going to be... I'm going to do 2 today. That is going to be my review for The Invitation, which I watched and I'm about to record the video for it. So that's going to be something for you to watch. And over there is going to be last week's Glenn's Day, which was John Wick. I remembered it this time. Check out what Glenn thought about that. Below my face is Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You know what to do with those. Thanks again. I really appreciate it. And hopefully these videos are just as enjoyable as the old Recommend Days. Bye!